Welcome back to my channel, Miss Personal Finance, where we are budgeting our way to financial freedom. In today's video, it is already time for another monthly budget. We are heading towards the last quarter of the year, 2024, so October. And let's get started. So for this month, I made some minor changes to the budget. We've been kind of working around the increase in prices, inflation, and seeing what our new monthly budget is going to be. It matters because we are 1 month ahead. We have accumulated funds in our savings account, and on the first of the month, we just transfer that over from our savings to our checking account to pay for all the bills for the month, and then use that current month to save up for the next month. So we started at about $5,000 a month in the beginning of the year and have since increased it to $5,300 a month. And now I think we're going to do a little correction at $5,200 a month, and we'll see how that goes. And budgeting is not always going to be static. You're going to have changes, you're going to have updates, and that's why it's important to regularly review and close out your budget so you kind of know what to look forward to and what to anticipate for the following month. So in this case, we are going to start with October 1st, and our source of income, it does include W-2 earnings, self-employment, a little bit of business and rental income. So we use all of that to compile into our 1 month ahead savings, and we just pull that out. So we're going to say 1 month ahead, and we are going to shoot for $5,200 this month. We do have other sources of income, like I just mentioned, including some side hustles, but we never count on that. So when I go to close out the monthly budget, I'll put any additional income that we may have earned for the month and add that to the budget. But for right now, we strictly budget off of our savings, our 1 month ahead fund, and that's going to be $5,200. Now for fixed expenses, we made a few changes. So we're going to go ahead and start with what I always start with, savings and or investment. Guys, always pay yourself first. That way you can work out the remainder of your budget, but you've already gotten that out of the way and your future self will thank you. So we budget about $200 a month into our investments. For our mortgage, all of our housing, we just group it into one payment, and that's going to be $1,595. For our internet, this has increased since the beginning of the year, and I feel like I call them monthly. I may have to do the same thing this month just because, again, there's always outages. They're always increasing the price, but we're not getting anything more in return. So to be determined on whether we stick with them or not, this provider. Sling is our streaming services, so no cable, but we get to watch cable channels using Sling. That stays constant at $63. That includes the taxes and fees. For childcare, that fluctuates, but it's usually around $1,000. I'm going to increase that from the $900 we had budgeted previously to about $1,000 a month. And one of the big changes of this quarter is going to be our medical and dental. Because my husband is self-employed, we usually have insurance through him. We've since changed it to our salary position. So that is now included and automatically taken out of our regular W-2 paycheck. So we no longer have those two items as separate line items on our monthly budget. So it's a change there. Our subscriptions, we keep those pretty low, just 2 things, and that's about $10 a month. And then for utilities, utilities are something that fluctuates every month, but we have it under fixed expenses because we've pretty much done our own budget billing, where I've taken the average of the previous years for both electricity and water and just pay $270 each month, and that covers the lower months and the higher months and averages out throughout the year. So if you don't have that option to join budget billing, it's okay. Even if you do have the option, you can just do it yourself using bill pay and paying the same amount every month, and that helps keep your budget consistent while also accounting for the higher and lower months throughout the year. Okay, so that actually brings our fixed expenses to a close, and that is good because, like I said, we've increased or decreased that by about 2 line items. And we're going to go ahead and add that up. We have 215.95 plus 10 plus 270. Okay, so our total fixed budgeted amount is going to be $3,223 for the month. Moving on to our variable expenses. These are the things that do change or can change monthly. But again, I like consistency in our budget. So what I do is we have the same amount for our variable amounts each month, and we just allow it to roll over in our spending account. So these actually do stay pretty constant. This is also where we include anything that may come up for the month. So if you're thinking birthdays or holidays, anything out of the norm, anything out of your regular budget, you probably want to add that to your monthly budget under variable or miscellaneous expenses. So in this case, we have since updated our budget to combine both groceries and household items like toiletries, cleaning products, because typically where we shop, like Target, Costco, Walmart, those things are already included, and it was getting hard for me to kind of go through the receipts and figure out which amounts went which bucket. So I just include all of them into one monthly budget, and it breaks down to about $200 a week for food and household for us. So for the month, 4 weeks, we're going to budget $800. It gets a little tricky on the 5-week months where we either have to compromise and sacrifice a little bit, tighten up our budget, or we just increase it by an additional week up to $1,000. But for the month of October, we'll have 4 weeks, so that will be $800 for the month. For gas, I budgeted about $200 a month. And for miscellaneous or personal, I budget $200 a month. So that's about $50 a week for each of those things. And when we add up our variable expenses, I do that last because I will put whatever is left over into the sinking funds amount. Now, for our household budget, we only have one debt, and that is going to be student loans. And right now they are on an administrative hold, and the actual amount is about $500 a month. For the last couple of months, we've just been throwing $100 at it instead of doing nothing while it's currently scheduled for a minimum payment of $0 while they go through the servicing updates. But the true budget amount is $500 a month for these student loans. So we still may just pay the $100 for the month, but we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to include the actual budgeted amount, or what it should be for the time being, and then we will adjust as we go. And that payment may change once it gets out of the administrative hold, but that's what it was previously, so that's what we're going to stick to for now as we go through this monthly budget. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and add that up for debt. So the total debt amount budgeted is going to be $500. So to find out what we have left over for our sinking funds, And remember, sinking funds are just savings for specific things that you know are going to come up, like the premiums for your car insurance or memberships like Amazon or Costco. Things that you may not know when they're going to happen, but they will happen, like car or home maintenance. So those are the things that I save for our household sinking funds, and we pretty much divvy them amongst those accounts, whatever's taking priority or precedence for that month. So let's go ahead and for our budget, find out what that remaining sinking fund amount is going to be. So we're starting off with $5,200. We have $3,223 in fixed expenses. We have $500 in debt, and then we have $1,200 in variable expenses. So that would leave us $277 and a total of $1,477 for variable expenses for the month of October. So that makes our budgeted fixed amount 223, variable expenses at $1,477, and debt at $500. I couldn't think of anything like birthdays or anything crazy for the month that is going to be completely out of budget. Usually I consider if it's $100 or more, I want to add it. If it's less, I can just use my miscellaneous funds to cover like smaller, like kid birthdays or something like that. But if it's going to cost like a trip, or if it's going to cost $100 or more, I would add it to my budget, our monthly budget. So that leaves us at $1,477 plus $500 plus 3,223. All right, so that will leave us at the $5,200. We're going to see if that's a better fit for us between the $5,000 and the $5,300. We feel one was too high, one was too low. So maybe this is our Goldilocks and this is just right. So we shall wait and see. But I'm hoping October is just going to be a low-key month, no crazy unexpected expenses thrown our way, so that we can start acclimated to what our new monthly budget is going to be. Maybe that $5,200 is the target and is the correct amount, but we shall see. Okay, guys, thank you for following along. That's it for this video. Comment below if you have anything that's coming up in October that you want to make sure that you include in your monthly budget. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, whatever you put your energy and focus toward, you're bound to see progress.